So I just turned 25, which is incredibly cool and incredibly terrifying because it means I've been alive for a quarter of a century. Now, with that being said, I feel like I need to give out some sort of words of wisdom or parting advice for anyone else who is going through this period of life. And there's really only one question that I and a lot of my friends find ourselves asking and struggling to answer. How do you deal with burnout when your job is your hobby? By the way, hi, my name is Nara, a full-time assistant editor of social media and marketing, as well as a full-time business management student. And yeah, I've been asking myself this very question for years in therapy as I try to navigate my life and career. So what I have gathered is that burnout comes from your job, right? And the only way to recover said burnout is through intentional restful activities like hobbies. But if you're like me and you found yourself in a career that is solely based on your favoriteest, most bestest hobby ever, you tend to find yourself in this vicious cycle that's just full of pain, constantly, all the time. Oh, how I love being an artist. Cheers. I've been thinking about this for a very long time, and the solution that I have come up with is that you gotta have other hobbies. I know, what a concept. But look, okay, obviously, burnout is complicated. It is not an easy topic, and when you're in it, everything just feels like soup, right? What I'm suggesting is we zhuzh up the soup a little bit. You know, we add some carrots, we add some celery, so that way you're not just drowning in the most bland soup ever, and you can have some texture, some color, some flavor to float on top of to maybe get yourself out of the soup. So if your life currently feels like soup, or maybe you just collect hobbies like their Pokemon, then sit back, relax, and enjoy this list I have compiled for you of all of the hobbies that currently spark joy in my life and, you know, helped me get out of bed in the morning when I was hella burnt out, in no particular order. So first up on the list is going to be one of my absolute favorites, and that is watercolor. I love this stuff. It's so easy for me to do. It's very easy to travel with. I literally was flying back to LA from Tennessee when I was visiting my family for the holidays, and I was watercoloring on my seat on the plane because I have a little like travel tin that's probably like yay big, and then I have a pre-filled watercolor paintbrush that has like water in it. So I just like drop the water, I dip it, and then I paint on whatever available paper I have, and it's very fun. I enjoyed it a lot. The latest thing I painted was for my friend's 27th birthday. I recreated one of her graduation photos in watercolor and I made her cry. So it was a good gift. The second hobby I want to shout out is embroidery. This is another thing that I kind of tend to go back to a lot. And that's just because I think embroidery, once you learn basic stitches, it's very easy and you can make a lot of different things. Again, this is one of my go-to homemade, handmade presents I like to give people. I actually have a couple of kits lying around. Like it's getting to the point where like people gift me these things now. Like this is a whole gift that one of my friends got me. I still haven't made it yet because I have a couple other kits that I'm getting through. Like I said, I don't do all of these all the time. This is just stuff I kind of rotate through whenever I'm in the mood. And I think having variety is very important because, you know, especially when life feels like soup, or maybe you're just bored of doing the same thing all the time, it's nice to spice it up by switching around. That's why I like to have like a sort of rotating list of all of my favorite hobbies and all the supplies I need to do them at any given moment. I think my love for embroidery actually came from cross-stitching. I think cross-stitching is easier because it is very much like the whole point of cross-stitching is you make a cross stitch, which is like a little X, and you just repeat an X over and over again until it makes whatever pattern you're trying to make. And when I was in, I think the 5th grade, for like one semester, I was in a cross-stitching class and completely forgot about it. And then when I got to college, I think like the second time, I was trying to like think of a craft to do, and I had like done a bunch of other ones and I was so tired of the ones I'd been doing. And then I was like, wait a second, didn't I used to like do embroidery or like cross stitching or something? And then I fell back into it, and it's so much fun. I love it so much. The third hobby that I want to shout out is my current obsession, and that is Pilates. Don't think I wasn't gonna throw in some workout, exercise, something, because working out is a hobby. Exercising is a hobby. If you make it fun, it can be a hobby. And for me, that is Pilates. I've only recently gotten into it. I think I'm on like my second month of continuously doing it, though I did skip a week while I was traveling, but that is neither here nor there. No, I love Pilates, and I go pretty routinely. By doing Pilates, it gives me like a sense of like community. Like this is more of a communal activity because I'm doing it like in a room with other people. And also it's just like, I don't know, having the instructor there telling you what to do, guiding you through it, just makes you feel very present in your body. The instructors that I go see, they do a lot of breath work with Pilates. I don't know if that's like common in Pilates. This is my first time doing it, so I'm not super familiar with it, but I like the place that I go to because breath work is very much involved. There's always like a meditation section in there, either at the beginning or the end. Breathe, feel your ribs open and close. Like it's all about control and intentionality. And I think that's the key thing here when it comes to hobbies. I think it's about intention, because you can do things very passively, which is fine, like that does have its place, but I think in terms of healing your mind and just like your mental health, I think having intentionality behind the things you do is really great. It's the same thing when we get onto my fourth favorite hobby, walking. I know it's a really basic one. I think everyone who makes a hobby list always says walking is on their list, but for good reason. I love walking, especially because I unfortunately have had blood clots before. I had multiple small pulmonary embolisms in my lungs a few years ago. Very long story for another day. But because of that, I really struggled with moving at all. I couldn't walk for weeks. Like I would have to have my dad like pick me up and basically like carry my body weight and like help me like walk up and down my hallway. And then, you know, I started going outside and I couldn't like walk steps or anything. So ever since I've recovered from that, I do not take walking for granted. It is a blessing to be able to walk and walk like without pain. So that is one of my favorite things. And I do it every day, especially having a dog. I try to take my dog out every morning, and then I take her out in the evenings. And then if I'm, you know, not at work, I'll like take her out multiple times a day. That is just something that it makes me feel very like connected with the earth. I like try not to look at my phone if I can help it. Sometimes I'll take a phone call, but most of the time I try to just like be present outside with my dog. Also for safety reasons, because you want to be head on a swivel at all times, right? Living in a city, you got to be aware of your surroundings. Anywhere you live, you got to be aware of your surroundings. But I love walking. It was my go-to thing after I had the blood clots, and like I remember even when I went through my bout of burnout that I went through a few years ago, walking was like the thing that made me feel sane, just like being outside. And sometimes I would even like put on a meditation app and I would have like an earbud in one ear and I would have like a guided walking meditation as I would walk outside to kind of help me like just be present, feel like a human. I think I literally cannot shout out walking enough. I think it's super basic, but it works and it is amazing and I love her so much. All right, fifth hobby, reading. As we started the video with, I love to read. I don't do it as often as I probably would like, but look, I'm a student and I work full time. I am a big proponent of murder mysteries, specifically Agatha Christie. I've been on a journey reading every Hercule Poirot book, which is her main detective book series that she has written. It has to have like over 50 books or something, or like near to 50. It's a lot of books, but I've been reading them all in order. And then I want to read like the rest of her detective series in order and then like read all of the spin-offs. But I love these books so much. I have taken a break from Agatha Christie and I've been reading a lot of, what is that series called? Shady Hollow. Sorry, it's kind of a mess over here. You guys are currently in my corner with my bookshelf, and the chair I'm sitting in, I just got off of Facebook Marketplace for like $10. Slay. But yeah, I've been reading a lot of Shady Hollow. I finished the first book in the series. It was a very easy read. but the character building was just such a delight, and all of the reviews I've read about the book after I finished it, I think it's like the main consensus of this series is that it's just like the mysteries are like, you know, they have plenty of twists and turns. I kind of predicted the whole plot of this book fairly easily, but something about the relationships between the characters and the way the world feels so lived in. It doesn't matter that I found the plot to be a little more predictable than I normally would like, because it was just such a fun read. And I think that's what reading should be. It should be fun. It can be educational if you want it to be. I mean, I'm reading a textbook on accounting right now, but I like to read for fun, and I want, you know, suspense, mystery, thriller, murder. Those are my favorite types of books. So I, you know, try to read a couple a year. Like I said, I don't read a lot, but when I do, it's a murder mystery. And honestly, I think my love for murder mysteries really comes from Scooby Doo. If you can't see this entire section here, all of this is Scooby Doo DVDs. This is like a third of my collection. The rest is still at my dad's house in Tennessee. But I've been collecting Scooby Doo since I was 4 years old. So this is like a long-staying hobby of mine. I love mysteries, I love cartoons, so that is the next hobby on my list, is like the sort of like Sunday morning cartoons. And I try to be careful when I talk about hobbies, and I try not to like rely on screens too much, but I think there are like good ways to involve screens in restful activity in your hobbies, and one of mine is cartoons. I collect physical media, Scooby Doo. I have some Madeline here. I have some OG Barbie movies. I've got some old DreamWorks movies, a few Disney, Hello Kitty. Like, I like to have these physically, and then I don't have a DVD player right now, but I am waiting for someone to give me their DVD player that they said they would give me. I like having all these physically. I like owning things for real, especially in the age of streaming. You know, so many things are stuck behind paywalls, or they were never made into DVDs because they've just existed on streaming their entire lifespan. So things that I can buy on DVD, I really try to do, especially with cartoons. I don't know why, I just like have such an affinity for cartoons, especially from the early 2000s, because that's when I grew up. So like the 90s, 2000s cartoons, Bratz, Winx Club. I love all that type of stuff. But yeah, I love to watch cartoons like early in the morning. Like when I make my breakfast, I'll like turn on Cartoon Network and I'll be like watching like Tom and Jerry and Scooby Doo. And I like to sort of make a game out of like collecting all of these things and putting them in order. Like all of these are in chronological order. So I have like all the TV shows over here. And then I have like the tautology of like the mainstay Scooby-Doo movies. So that's like Scooby-Doo Zombie Island, Alien Invaders, Cyber Chase, Witch's Ghost, the live action movies with Matthew Lillard. And then from there, it's like all the animated ones that have come out and like some TV specials. Again, this would be like 3 times the size if I had all of them. But yeah, I think that's like another fun way to sort of like make a hobby out of something you love, is just like by collecting things. And I only try to buy things when I find them used, because it kind of adds the fun to it of like going to a used bookstore and finding a DVD that I don't have yet and being like, oh my God, I've been looking for this for years. Because I could buy a lot of these things on Amazon, but I think that kind of takes the fun out of it. And also I don't want to buy things off of Amazon. So there you go. Another hobby that I enjoy kind of falls in the same vein as like watercoloring, is just coloring, like coloring books. I haven't done one in a very long time. I did just recently, however, buy one of these cozy corner books that I've been seeing everywhere, and I am obsessed with these. Look at this. I love anything that's like small, like a tiny scene, a tiny room. Like it's so stinking cute. I don't have any like actual like coloring supplies. Like I have the watercolor, but this is not meant for watercolor, this type of paper. So I need to get like some alcoholic markers or like coloring pencils or something. I have a few like Crayola markers, but you know, I see those videos all the time on TikTok or like Facebook where like people will take these and they'll make it like super intricate. Like if there's like a light up here, they'll like draw where the light would hit and everything else will be in shadow, and then they'll go in and like color everything like how it would normally be colored, but because they added like the weird shadow effect, it makes it look like a real room. Or they'll take like white gel pens to add like highlights to stuff. And like, that's the level of insanity that I want when I'm coloring. Like I want to really overthink every step of me coloring in a page. So I need to get a decent coloring like marker pencil set. I used to have one, but again, a lot of my stuff is like at my dad's house and I just need to buy a new one, but I'm like trying to be kind of like mindful of money. So once I do, I will be coloring that thing like crazy. I think that's, you know, it can be very passive, but if you're like me and you want to be extra, you can make it a very intentional thing, like thinking about the way light hits something, or, you know, colors that complement each other, or even doing, you know, colors that like coloring things that they aren't supposed to be that color, but making like the world sort of fit the tone. Like I see that people, they'll paint someone's face, but like only in like shades of blue, something like that, where you kind of have to like think harder and think about color theory and shadows and lighting. I think that is another fun little activity you could do. The next thing on my list, I would say cooking is a big one, kind of in the spirit of trying not to spend too much money. I love to eat out. I love food, especially in LA. So I try to not eat out too much, and instead I've really been trying to get better at cooking. One, for like cost, sustainability, but also just like to learn a new skill that will serve me throughout my entire life, because you always have to eat. So that is another thing. And you know, you could throw eating out in there a little bit. Like I think in general, I'm just really trying to expand my palate more. I had gallbladder disease, so I had to have my gallbladder removed, hence the blood clots later. Again, very long story, but essentially for the longest time, I wasn't really able to eat a lot of different foods because my body like wouldn't digest anything. And in the last, you know, 6 months, I would say I've been really trying to expand my palate. And so I've really gotten into getting better at cooking. Not even like cooking anything fancy, like literally just like learning how to properly cook chicken or learning how to properly cook a piece of fish. It's skills that I never learned. I had no one to teach me those things. So I'm trying to get better at them. And I think it's fun. That way too, like if I have friends over and they're like, oh, I want dinner, I'm like, I can whip you up a pan-seared chicken breast and you know, some roasted vegetables. Like I think it's a useful and fun skill to have. And I think, you know, once you get the basics down, you can start doing like crazy stuff and start going like really fancy. My partner, like he is a really good cook in my opinion, and he started learning like some new recipes and I get to eat them all and it's so fun. I also love to sing. This is gonna sound maybe a little deranged, but I love singing. I have no intention of being a singer ever in my life. I just genuinely enjoy it. I'm actually going to karaoke for my birthday party this year with my friends, and I'm very excited. But in my free time, when, you know, maybe I'm not doing anything else, I will actually like pick a song and I will look up videos and like online karaoke or technique videos, or I'll watch other people singing it and I'll just try to copy what they're doing and get better at singing. For what purpose? Just because I like to. I think it's really fun. I think I can carry a tune all right. You know, I did musical theater for years in middle school and high school. So it's something that's always kind of like been in my life, but I've never had like any formal training. So that's like another thing that I really enjoy doing, is just like analyzing and watching videos of other people singing, or like actual technique videos, or like even duetting on TikTok and never posting them. It's really fun, I swear. And like also, it's fun to just like be in my apartment with my dog and start singing, and she likes it when I sing, and she'll like come up to me and we'll just like dance together. We'll just dance around. I'll be singing, she'll be wagging her tail. It's cute, it's wholesome. It's just like, you know, hobbies can literally be anything. It doesn't have to be serious. It doesn't have to be for anything other than your enjoyment. And that is definitely something that I just like to do and that I will never share with anyone ever. You will not catch me singing online. But I will be enjoying it in the privacy of my home. I also love to journal. I've been journaling for years now. I have a few different types of journals. So I have this 1 question a day, which I fail to answer on a regular basis. I actually don't think I've touched this since October of last year. Yeah. So I'm a little behind. But no, I think it's really cool. There will be like questions like the color that best describes your mood today, who's the first person you thought of, what do you wish someone would say to you today and every day, what did you overhear today, what are you saving money for? Like it just has all these different questions. So I like this. I also have bullet journals that I do, where I'll do like planners, or I'll do like a creative writing journal or like a junk journal, kind of just whatever fits where I'm at in life. I would say for the last few years, I've mostly done like proper bullet journals where I'm like making a calendar and making a planner. And more recently, I've leaned more into junk journaling because I feel like with my current job, I'm mostly just on like apps and websites that handle calendar planning. So I don't really have to and there's so much that goes on in a day. I don't really have the time to like sit down and write and draw out everything. But I do like junk journals because if I have a day where I do want a written down checklist, it's a junk journal. I can just use 1 page or a couple pages for that. Or I can take the receipts from the lunch I got at the company team lunch or whatever. Or if I went, going to karaoke with friends, I can take my receipt from karaoke and put it there and write a little blurb being like, I did karaoke today, blah, 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 blah. I think that's also fun. Also, in general, I like writing a lot. I think creative writing is a fun way to express yourself. It's a great way to sort of like have a little like fantasy in your life, a little more imagination. I feel like some of the hobbies I do don't really require a lot of imagination. I mean, like art and like, watercolor and drawing and stuff does. But I think it's your brain can take you to so many wonderful places if you let it. So I think it's a great and healthy way to do that. I also just think it's a great way to, if you're more into like practical like therapy mindfulness, it's a great way to reflect on life and maybe like work through, some trauma, or maybe you have like an argument with someone you love and you don't want to go at them with like all your anger. So, I always joke that if someone were to read my journal, I would probably sound meaner than I am in real life, because whenever I'm really angry, the first place I go to my journal and I just write. And I'd say that's where I say like the most unhinged things in terms of like how I feel about situations, because it's just a good cathartic way to like get it out and like leave it on the page and just kind of be like, wow, okay, I got the big feelings out. Now I can think about this critically with a little more reasoning and a lot less emotion. So I love journaling for that reason too, because I think it helps me ground myself and helps me think and look at things in a less emotionally charged place. Emotions are great, but I don't want to be throwing my big mean ones at people when I'm upset with them. I think it's fair to I always joke, I'm the type of person where if I'm upset with you, you need to give me 24 hours, like a full business day, to get back to you about how I feel, because I like to like digest. I like to think and digest my feelings before I like just, pour them all into someone without even knowing like what it is I'm trying to say or what it is I want out of a situation. So there's also that. Another more recent hobby that I've really gone into is playing like physical card games. And I'm not talking like Uno or like actual like deck of cards, though I do love those, and I also like shout out to that. That's a great one. I have a lot of board games here that I love to play, but I'm talking specifically like Pokemon. Like I've really gotten into Pokemon. I have the Pokemon Pocket trading card app on my phone, which I play pretty regularly, and it's like a smaller bite-sized version of the actual physical card game. But no, I've actually played the physical card game as well, and this is all thanks to my partner, because he loves to play cards. He like plays Yu-Gi-Oh, Gundam, Magic, Pokemon. I have yet to play the other ones, but like I have played a bit of Pokemon, and I think this one's great because especially if you have a card shop near you, They will do these things called like pre-sale events, where before like a new like set of cards comes out, some card shops will have like tournaments, and you play like, I think it's like $30 or $40 to play, and you get like a bunch of cards for playing, and then you just get to play for shits and gigs with like all the other people that show up. So you like get to collect cards at a cheaper rate than if you were just to go buy them, because Pokemon cards are hella expensive, and you're able to play with other people and kind of like learn more about strategy. And typically, you know, when you go to those types of events, there will be more seasoned players, and so like my partner is the one who's shown me mostly, but I've had other people, like while I'm playing them, they'll give me advice on like what I should and shouldn't do, or you know, if I forgot a rule, they'll be like, oh, it's this, and you know, people are really sweet. So I think that's like a more niche, like fun hobby, and it doesn't have to be Pokemon. I can be anything. I'm sure there's like other tabletop game like bars or stores that you can go to, and like, you know, I know that the few stores that I've been to, they have like other tabletop games that they'll have tournaments for, and as long as you know how to play, or you know, even if there's just someone there to teach you, like you can join in, and it's really fun. And I think, you know, it's a great way to connect with other people, get out of your comfort zone a little bit, get out of, you know, maybe not think about life, just think about the game you're playing, something to focus on. Again, it's all about intentionality. So the last hobby on this list is going to be YouTube. Obviously, I have been making YouTube videos since 2016. Oh my God, that means it's been nearly 10 years. I think it started as like the first video I ever made was actually for a class assignment. I was 13 or 12. I think I was 13. And it was sort of like it was for a computer science class. And I think it was a way to like introduce ourselves to the class. And I used iMovie because it came for free on our school computers. And I made on iMovie, and I don't even know if I still have it. I don't think I do. But I just remember like putting my whole heart and soul into that thing. You know, I used This Is Me, Demi Lovato as the song on it. And I ate Boots House down with that thing. I ate so hard with it. I had so much fun. And from there, I just like never stopped. And I created my YouTube channel in 2016, but I had been making like videos here and there for like our school's like video news like YouTube channel. So if you go to like my old high school, you can probably like find videos on their YouTube that like I worked on. And then I started to do like short films, like short student like horror, fractured fairy tale type stuff. And then I got to college, and I think that's when I really started to make actual YouTube videos like that weren't just like for school. And it's just been like on and off. I've been doing it for a long time. I think in the last year is when I've been posting very consistently. I mean, I've been seeing like tremendous growth on my channel, which shout out to every single one of you who follows me. And if you don't, subscribe. But no, I appreciate all of you. It makes it more fun to make things when you know that there are people who are like waiting to see what you make. It's like a fun way to build community. It's a fun way to express yourself. I mean, even the intro for this video, I like wrote it all down in my notes app, and I was like, I'm gonna do this angle and this angle, and it's just fun. It's just a fun way to express myself, and I very much enjoy it. Even though I do work in YouTube, which I have to be careful with. Some days, like, you know, when I do a lot of edits at work, I'm like, I do not have the mental capacity to edit one more thing. And those are the days where I will switch to my other hobbies, especially like when I'm on like vacation, or I have like a long weekend, or it's like the weekend, you know, I get the itch where I'm like, ooh, I want to make a video. I'll like go make a video like this. That will always and forever be like my favorite hobby that I have and that I do. It's just, there's so much to it. Like there's writing, there's camera work, there's editing, color grading, there's sound, and like even just getting to know my camera, like the challenge of when you buy your first camera and you're like, okay, how do I make this look good? That's like this sort of like tango I've been dancing for years. I currently film on an Action 5 Pro. It's by DJI, as you can see with the mic. And I love it a lot, but I definitely feel like I have not fully unlocked the potential of like how good I can make footage look from this camera with like in the settings, and also just like in post with color grading and, you know, just like the way I frame myself. So it adds this sort of like challenge, this sort of like learning. I think a lot of great intentional hobbies come from a space of like, I want to learn something. I know a lot of people speak really highly on like playing guitar because you get to learn new songs. It's like a skill. It's good for your mind. I think any hobby that really encourages learning and intentionality will always be a great hobby that you can have for yourself. Now, I do want to acknowledge that this isn't always easy for everyone, right? Especially when we're talking about burnout and life feeling like soup. If you're dealing with burnout, it can be really hard to get out of that cycle, especially if your job is like hella toxic and you have no weekends and you're working 10-hour days and you have like no energy to even think about what to make yourself for dinner. Trust me, I've been there. I've had those types of jobs before and it sucks. It is so hard. But truthfully, if it wasn't for having healthy hobbies, having things that, you know, spark joy, get me out of my bed in the morning, I would not be who I am today. I would not be here today. And I acknowledge it's not always easy, you know, to even like have hobbies, especially if you're, you know, dealing with burnout and you have a really toxic job. Maybe you're working 7 days a week, 10-hour days, and you don't even have the energy to think of what to feed yourself at the end of the day. Trust me, I have been there. I've had those types of jobs before, and it sucks. It's really hard. And I think in general, Gen Z, like we as a generation, I'm gonna be that person for a second, but yeah, I think we really struggle with the idea of hobbies, because I think a lot of us have gotten conditioned to this point of like, anytime we find something we enjoy and like we're remotely good at it, we start to then look at it as a way to have a side hustle, have gig work, like monetize it. Like everything needs to be profitable, because God forbid you do something because you just like to do it. Well, I'm here to tell you, the profit from something can just be your pure enjoyment. You don't need monetary profit out of everything you do. You're not wasting time, you're enjoying your life. Do not live to work, you know, just live to live and work to support yourself. And look, I get it, it's easier said than done. Shit is expensive. There's a lot going on in the world, but truthfully, I think it's okay to just stop. I think it is okay to stop. Slow your roll and take a break. I think it's okay to just have things because you like them. You don't need to have like 20 different side hustles. You don't need to. The amount of times that I have, you know, told someone like, oh, I love to embroider or I love to watercolor, and they have been like, oh, you could like make stuff and sell it on Etsy. I could do that. I don't want to do that. Like I could do that, but it's not necessary. I mean, at least right now, I have a full-time job. I don't need to, you know, be owning 3 other businesses on the side. I can just enjoy life. Like you are allowed to just enjoy life. And I think that's so important. And so, you know, everything that I've listed in this video, everything that I'm talking about is really coming from a place of what I've learned in the last 25 years of my life, is that it is okay to take a break. It is okay to just enjoy things for the sake of enjoyment. Have a little kiki, you know, paint, read, walk, you know, learn how to do pottery, learn how to knit. I don't care. Just find things that like bring you joy for the sake of bringing you joy. So that way, you know, when you come back from your job at the end of the day, you can sit down and just like relax and not get burnt out, because burnout, it sucks. It's the worst. And I wish that on no one, because I have been there before and I hate it. And I hate that for anyone that gets it. Don't let capitalism steal your joy. That is the message of this video. Do not let capitalism steal your joy. Anyways, that is all for today's video. I sincerely hope that you set some time aside every week for yourself to just do something you love. And I would love to hear from you down below what that is, what hobbies, you know, get you up out of bed and keep joy in your life. Please let me know. And maybe if it's something I haven't done before or I've wanted to try, maybe that'll inspire me to try it too. Or someone else, you never know. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Like I said, I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Love you the most. Bye.